You remember where we left off?
It may be actually cool for me to start writing down your questions.
Write down my questions?
When you ask me. I don't know. That'll be...
To write down my questions?
On what you asked me. What? But I probably have a better understanding the next time if I did this again. Probably have a better response, a better way of responding to make it sound good, look good on camera for you.
Oh, is this your first time doing a podcast?
It's my first time doing them with you. Yours is a little different. So the other guy that did them with me, he just kind of followed me around and made his own look. He asked questions every now and then, like, you know, just like a recording assistant type of shit. Like he wasn't my assistant, but he would ask me certain shit, he would do search, whatever, and he just record what I do on a day-to-day.
So like a daily blogger.
So I ain't really have to
talk.
Yeah,
so
it
now
was
you
just,
have to talk.
you just follow me, and if he had a question on Jacob, why are you doing this? Or what's this for?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. He would ask.
So have you ever had to tell your story on camera?
No, I ain't never told anybody. Told regular people. Then they be like, "Oh my God, what the? Like what?"
It's nothing different, because the only thing that's different is the camera and it's the equipment. But the people that you be able to connect with is watching the video. You know what I mean? It's just not like me and you talking, but it's just recorded. It's just a recorded conversation. Yes, you can write the questions down, but the questions I'm asking is all about you. Who is Jacob? You know what I mean?
So yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying, for sure.
I don't have no problem with you writing down.
No, yeah, for sure. I was just going off of like what you just said, because sometimes I don't remember. Like sometimes I remember in the last video that I used to have to, hey, what was the question again? You remember when?
No, I don't even.
You remember? I was asking like, hey, bro, what was that question?
I'm not even about to.
Oh, that's probably the one that you couldn't hear.
What? When I
was asking, you would ask me something. I'd be like, what was the question again? That was probably the one that you couldn't hear.
Probably.
That was probably in that time. It's pretty funny.
How does this feel now? Mine is the camera and the lights.
That's a good question. I mean, I'm comfortable with all this. It's just funny. I don't normally tell people a lot of this stuff. I mean, hey, I don't mind though. Hopefully it inspires some other people.
It will, because it's your story, and your story is so impactful because it has so many lessons in it. But what's happening is that oftentimes we're not telling our stories, and we keeping what has happened to us within us. You know what I mean? I had to learn. I had to learn how to communicate. I had to learn how to tell my story. I went through a divorce. That was hard, bro. It was hard because it was something I never went through. It was something that I had to experience. It was something that really broke me down. I didn't have confidence. I really lost my confidence. I thought I was going to be lonely for the rest of my life. But what happens? You go through something in order to grow through it. But as you're growing through it, now you're able to tell other people your story. Hoping they learn from your experiences. But sometimes people got to go through their own trials and tribulations.
A couple of times, right?
So oftentimes it's you're giving your story, but you're getting comfortable delivering it. You know what I mean? You just haven't done it in a little minute.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
and I appreciate you. I appreciate you for, you know what I mean, allowing me to learn more about your story and what you've been through, because that it means a lot. We see success today.
You don't see what
you've been through. You feel me? Like all this recording is just to keep, like you said, data is just to keep content of what's current today.
My fault.
No, you good. And that's difficult. That is difficult. You say you're an artist. How do you feel when you're expressing yourself in the booth?
It's a unique feeling. It's just, have you ever been in control of something
Have I ever been in control?
Complete control or something. Like, I don't know if that is your thing, but for, I would say, me or people with my characteristics, being in control of something is just the all in all, you could say, for us. So when you writing your own music, drawing, playing keyboard, piano, whatever, I mean, you in total control of whatever comes out or what you produce. It's kind of like being free, or just letting your imagination flow. So it's just different.
So you used to telling your story, but you used to presenting it in a different way. The artist,
True.
The artists and poems and the rhymes and the hooks and things of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. So you telling your story.
He say just in a different way.
You feel me? Because that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, you're right.
How do you come up with something good if you're not in tune with who you are? It's difficult. It's difficult. I might can talk a lot, but I really got to do some searching. You feel me? I really got to go from the past and see how can this story resonate with so many people. How can I even make it make sense? I'm actually thinking, okay, what did I go through? What you go through is what's making you today. But we have to realize what's happening to us is happening for us. But how do we accept it? We have to learn why it's here. Without going too deep, if you like to, when a hard time gets presented to you, how do you become aware of it and then control it? Or control how you respond to it. Let's say that. How do you become aware of it and control how you respond to it?
Normally I test it. I don't know, I'm weird. Like I said, I test it. I'm the one that if they say don't go over this speed limit because blah, 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 whatever, I would probably be the one to try to go a little bit over to see if I could be different or blah, blah, blah. So if I get an obstacle in front of me or was presented with a challenge, I would basically go and look at it to see what I could do to get around it. But in reality, I can't. So that's something I'm still dealing with and learning. There ain't loopholes to everything. Some you just gotta deal with. So as a things I'm still learning and going through. I mean, yeah, how I would deal with it, find my way around it. But reality, you can't find your way around everything. So that may just be one of the things I don't do correctly.
Well, it's not that you don't do it correctly. You do what's best for you. You know what I mean? How you do things, the next person probably won't do it. I don't do things the same way. I don't try to be like the other person. No. What's working for you is working for you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like I've wasted a lot of time doing it in that sense, of just trying to find a way around certain things instead of picking the known way, the path that everybody else is taking, whether it was longer or not. I feel like I've wasted more time, even though if the loophole worked, I wasted more time trial and error through the loophole than just doing it, facing whatever I needed to face up front, or just doing it a traditional way. Which, let's say if it works, somebody else wouldn't have to go through as long as I had to go through with the trial and error. But if you didn't, then you spent about as much time as you did doing it another way.
I feel like the loophole is something we all go through because we're so confused of what just happened. And the loophole is showing us why it's here, why it's present, and what we can actually do in our part. We can't change the outcome, but we can change who we are. We can change what we do, but we can't change what has happened.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Do you think the past is with you today?
Most definitely. I would hate to admit that, but most definitely. Most definitely, it is. My past is made up a large percentage of what I do and who I am, and letting go of something or change isn't necessarily things that I like to do. It's just things I have to do. And who in the heck would want to get up and do what they don't want to do? Like go to work at a contracting facility, lifting 100-pound barrels all day out in the heat or whatever. I mean, don't nobody just want to go do that. They just do what they got to do to continue. I'm most definitely working on that still. Because it'd be some days I start saying, F this. Next day I may be like, I'm not getting that day back. What am I doing? Tomorrow never comes because it's coming tomorrow. Like just, it's a lot. It definitely is. It's a lot to it, and ain't easy for sure, but it's worth it. I mean, I can sit here and with you and do a podcast versus somebody that has no choice but to go to work for a family or go to work for a blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. I mean, I have financial freedom to kind of do what I want to do, but once you get to a certain level of status, I mean, your bills reach a certain level in status too, so you gotta adjust and move a certain way. Sure. I wouldn't be able to do this for 6 months for sure, forever just doing this, but I mean, for time being, other people don't have the luxury to do it. So how were you able to recognize that you're living with your past? How I react to people and things. Everybody say I'm mean. Why are you mean? Well, I didn't know I was mean. You about the 10th person to tell me that. About the 10th person? I'm like, maybe I am. Maybe the 2 or 3, maybe they was just tripping.
Maybe they was, but 10?
But 10, man, let me what am I saying to these people? Because I don't know if you believe in, the like horoscopes and stuff, man. I'm an Aries. Yeah. So I'm very blunt. And most people, which I have come to realize, cannot stand or don't like the truth because it hurts. So when you just bluntly say what's on your mind and somebody took that to heart or personally instead of just taking it for what it was, then you don't really recognize it, especially if they got a poker face. Be hurt all in the inside and looking at you like, oh, okay.
That's them telling you that they hurt.
Okay. And
the way they look at you.
Okay. Like, hey, I'm sorry. What do you think about this outfit? I don't like it. I don't like that. This makes you look big. This, that, blah, that. But that's how I would like for somebody to tell me. I wouldn't want. You see what I'm saying? So I just give people my reality instead of giving them what they want. And that's not how the world works. No. Sorry, no. I'm agree with you on that one. Yeah, you give people what they want.
Well, it's not necessarily what they want, but it's like everybody's different. But how can you communicate with everybody? You meet them where they're at. That's the problem. That's the I wouldn't necessarily say the problem, but that's the disconnect from people that believe in themselves and people that's learning how to, right? We pick up all this language, all this information, all this, the trial and error that we've been through because we actually put ourselves through it. It's different because you gain life experience so quickly, and everything that's coming is not common sense. So how do you communicate what you know to the next person? Easy, just meet them where they're at. Throw out all the big words, throw out all the education. What do they know? You know this, I'm gonna meet you exactly there. Why? Because now they feel respected. They feel respected. They feel seen. You don't need to use big words unless the conversation requires it. If one person uses big words, don't get it messed up. You feel me? You feel me? I can
turn
meet you
into
where
this
you at.
right quick. Yeah,
You
most
know
definitely.
what I mean? I can meet you where you at, but it's identifying how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you proud of the man that you are today?
Hell no. Hell no. Man, heck no. No, not the more you know. Excuse me. The more you see, the less you know.
The more you see,
The less you know.
The
Because
more you see,
the less you know.
The more you see, the less you know. Huh? I'm looking at the window.
Oh no, you fine.
The more you see, the less you know. That's a good. The more I see, the less I know.
Now you want to know what that building is for. You want to know what that building is for. That. If I knew what I knew now, which is how old people would say it, and I could go back in time and was still in a position that I was in and continuous with my education that I have now, I would be 100 times more of a man than what I am now. Having to go in and unlearn all of my negative bad habits, all of the certain things that I was doing that wasn't producing what I was expecting, it changed me. But I had to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm proud of what I've stayed out of, but I know I could be a lot farther than where I'm at. So, like I say, the more I see, the less I know, and I've seen a lot. I've been exposed to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And once you've been exposed, you can't go back and unsee what you already saw.
So now you got 1,000 questions for everything that you done seen.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you become inquisitive of life and whoever you're speaking with. By inquisitive, I'm actually saying questionable, not questionable, but curious.
Mm-hmm.
Curious. You become very curious. What does this person have, and how can I learn from them? Because I'm the exact same way. I ask a whole bunch of questions. I ask so many questions. I don't even feel bad about asking questions no more.
I don't either.
You feel me? Like,
I don't either.
I have absolutely no pride. No pride whatsoever. Why? Because if you know something and I want to learn it, I can't have pride trying to learn what you already know. Absolutely. I don't have no. That's the problem with the world and the society. We're too prideful and have a lot of ego and pride that we don't even put ourselves in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah, we get comfortable. That's exactly what we do. And I know, because I've been there, we got comfortable. So, yeah, for sure. We do that a lot. And
But,
I mean, us over in America versus other countries, I mean, they're raised and people are brought up differently, and their culture allows them to be more of what we should be. So I don't know if, like I was telling you the other day, what website, what Instagram was that you sent me?
what, Instagram?
It was an Instagram, basically it was business related, and it had a breakdown of the average income per American type, like Japanese American, Indian American, African American, blah blah blah, all the way down from every one of them. The traditions between each one of those people, when I was just really sitting and thinking about it, the more disciplined the tradition is, the more money they actually made, or who they were. That's just what I noticed in that pattern. The Indian culture, the people that are misunderstood or people would take as radical or etc. I mean, they're strict on their culture, their beliefs. They're disciplined. They made more money than anybody in the United States. Their average income with a bachelor's degree was $100,000 plus. Their average income. Our African American on the side, you're looking at 30, 40 with a bachelor's degree. And you got the same paperwork, but you got two completely different outcomes, which has nothing to do with schooling or that type of education. It's just more so of growing up, principles, morals, who they are as a person, all of that. So once you reach that point in your life, you kind of have to unlearn all of the things that you were taught and pick it back up and take it back off running. So it's kind of like building a house, then saying, oh, well, I forgot to do the concrete this way. I gotta start all over.
The foundation wasn't built
to last, so I gotta
do it all over.
All over. And imagine being 20 and having to redo your whole foundation of what you've been taught from the time you wake up in the morning till the time you go to sleep.
That's when it becomes difficult, because how do you unlearn what you've been learning your whole entire life? See, that people don't tell you what life really consists of, what becoming a man consists of, what becoming grown and mature consists of. There's a difference. You can be grown but not mature.
Which is true.
You feel
Most
me?
definitely.
Like, how do you actually go from grown to mature, to learn yourself, to learning more about who you are, what you've been through? What you learn is kind of like, okay, what I've learned is it can't really, it helped me to get to this place. But how can I go from this place to that place to that place?
Yeah, and it's basically what was it? Wisdom and knowledge.
Wisdom and knowledge.
Wisdom is the application of knowledge in the right situation, and knowledge is just knowing something. So when you actually are wise enough or been through it enough, you know when and what and when to use it. Basically, your knowledge. So let's say if you had $10 and you the knowledge that you have, you just know you got $10. If you were wise, then you would know how to use that $10. So I mean, it was just it's a difference in it. So I could take that $10, I could go flip it, go buy what as a kid I would buy candy or bags of chips, take them to school, sell them for $1 a piece, $2, $3, turn that $10 into 30, 40, do it all over again. You see what I'm saying? It's wisdom. I mean, but knowledge is just you have the information, if I'm not mistaken.
That was perfectly said. That was perfectly said, because oftentimes we know what we need to do.
And we don't do it.
You feel me? So
do it.
And that's where the disconnect come from, because we hear the information. We've heard it multiple times, but it's different to actually understand it and experience it and go through it and really go through it. But understand you needed to go through this in order to be the person you are today. Earlier I asked the question about, are you proud of the man that you are today? You said no. But hearing how much you've grown, and I only met you, 2 weeks?
I think it's been either a week or 2 weeks.
A week and a half. Let's meet in the middle. A week and a half.
Heck yeah.
The fact that I met you 2 weeks ago and I can feel how much you've grown shows how much of a man you became. I could be wrong. What you think?
Man, I definitely had to learn. I mean, too much of one thing is a bad thing, whether it's good or not. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So when I was brought up with a male figure that was no balance. I mean, you have a mother and a father for a reason. So me being sensitive to people, careful how I respond, planning, organizing, certain things that women would have, I didn't have that towards people at all. That was missing. Why was it missing? Well, I grew up with just one. I didn't have both, or balance, nothing to even it out. So I'm learning with women around in my life now, such as my sister or a girlfriend or whatnot, it's teaching me how to be more of a man from another perspective than just a man.
That was nice how you put that. Teaching you how to be a man from another perspective, but another perspective is from a woman's eye.
Which is 100% true. And that's the most important, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's most important because, I mean, yeah, I can go out here and go hop and screw whatever, but in reality, at the end of the day, she coming home and she wants some money. She don't know how to cook, don't know how to clean. Her personality ain't she just looking at me and what I got and she wants some of it. That's not what I want to continue attracting at all. So for me to level that up, I had to look at what I was doing because you attract
who you are.
So man, I had to, that's why I said, no, I'm not proud of them yet because I got some work to be doing, but I'm learning a whole nother side to things that I didn't even consider before.
Me too. I'm learning how to be a provider via woman's perspective, right? Hearing it is different than experiencing it. How do you be the man for this woman? That's hard, bro. That is, listen, that is hard. That is so difficult because I grew up in a single parent household. But my mom, she raised 3 boys by herself. And mind you, she did a phenomenal job raising us, but she can only teach us so much from a woman's perspective. You know what I mean? So how do you actually learn how to be a man? My divorce, bro, it sparked so much knowledge in so much of a short time. I didn't even know everything that was coming. But it taught me as I'm preparing to grow, as I'm going through the pain, as I'm going through the healing process, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for myself. I don't want to be lonely for the rest of my life. Absolutely. Why did I get a divorce? I got divorced because of I stopped loving myself. I did the best I could. I'm not taking anything from what I've done. No. I did the best I did. But I didn't know anything about relationship. I didn't know how to love my ex-wife. I didn't know how to understand her. Then I learned broken people can't heal broken people. Oh no, I like how you said you attract who you are. What was you about to say? Hold on, I'm gonna stop it and then start.
Oh, you good, bro?
Attract. What was the last thing? Attract. How? You remember the question?
Who you are?
Yeah. When did you recognize you was able to attract the person who you are?
Lord, they ready for that one. Oh man. Oh, cause I want to be honest so bad. So I had let's just say I had a time where I was experimenting. And what I was experimenting with, I was attracting certain people that was experimenting with the same thing. And it would blow my mind because I would never ever know until after things happen or after. And it was just like, what in the just like this is no. So that's when I realized it, while I was out experimenting with certain stuff. And yeah, the same people that I thought was just so fine or just so this is so down to earth and just, it's like when you open up that door to that secret door, it's like, oh, y'all dealing with doing the same shit I'm doing. Made me look at myself differently. Most people look at me and think I'm spoiled, or think he had it easy, or what you say, they see the success. And for me, constantly attracting people that I thought was on my status, my level, or just they was the or however you want to say it, and then opening up their skeletons and seeing certain things, and then looking at myself, and I'm like, whoa. So that's definitely how I figured it out. Was I was attracting what the hell I was doing, and I was like, I don't like what I'm attracting, so I shouldn't like what I'm doing. So that's more so when I changed it.
And I wasn't laughing that you said when I saw myself in them. I was laughing at that you realized that.
You could laugh. I'm telling you, if I told you the situation, you'd be like, oh.
I'd be like, what?
Oh my God. Like, all righty then.
And when the day that you realized that, you really began to grow in a way when you wasn't expecting it.
That's when I started doing more research, studying, reading, and started thinking more on frequencies and vibrations and the universe itself, or just the higher power itself. Then I started reading certain books. Certain books started making me, let's say, one book that I read. It was called, what was that book called? It's by Alexander Crowley, evil guy. They call it the Devil's Book, short term. I can't think of the name.
Was it outwitting the devil? It was the
Do as thou wilt.
Do as thou will. I never heard that one. Do as thou will. Okay.
I wanted to, this is gonna be kind of weird, but you don't know me, so I wanted to structure my companies as the most powerful influences there is. So what did I look up? How is the Illuminati structured? How is this and how is that? And I've come to the Devil's Book is something that Jay-Z quoted. I read the quote from Jay-Z, just so happened to look it up, looked up the book, and boom, you have the Devil's Book, which is the foundation of what the Illuminati or blah, blah, blah is all built off of. You talking about read that dag blasted book, bro? I had to go to like 4 or 5 different folks to get this juju up off of me, please. Like, I don't know no other way to describe it, but you talk about, it's like a mad scientist could either build a bomb or he could build a cleaning solution. And I was reading the bomb part. I was reading it's some doors that you open can't be closed. So I'm sure you could just imagine what doors I didn't open by opening that one. And till this day, some of those doors cannot be closed because you literally get a perspective and a point of view of things that you would never look at. Like that dude that I'm telling you about, extremely smart, extremely intelligent, but he had one hell of a life. So the way that he viewed things and people, and it just is like you really couldn't blame him. But at the end of the day, whether he was good or bad, there was no question on he was bad. So yeah, it's a weird book.
And you're right, some doors, once they get open, they can't be closed. But that's life. Every time you experience something new, why would you go back and try to change it? You feel me? Why would you go back and try to change what can't be already present? It's difficult because that same analogy is what happens to us in life. Things happen to us at a particular time, particular place, particular moment, particular year. We're not prepared for it. But we try to go back in the door and try to rearrange the decorations and make it look okay. But in reality, it being okay is you accepting what has happened to you. But once you accept and really begin to grow in a way that you would never expect it, you really understand why you needed to go through that door, why you needed to experience this, why you needed to really understand something that you never learned before. Life is going to throw you curveballs.
Oh, they gonna curve.
You feel me? Like a mean curve. You're not going to expect what's going to come. Why do we have to see things in order to believe it's happening to us? Notice I didn't say for us, but happening to us. Why do we need to see it? Oftentimes, we as people think we have to see it to see that this is for us. No. This building, I'm looking at this building. This building is huge. I still can't even see it. Okay, This building is huge. But it didn't start at the top. It started at the bottom. You feel me? Your success did not start at the top.
It started at the bottom, yeah.
But now you gotta go through your levels. You gotta go through your phases. You gotta go through your foundation. But it's so scary to even begin. We never start because we don't know why.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy on how life is designed, and you got some cheat codes. I mean, like I said, I look at everything as vibrations and energy now. So let's say, for instance, weed. My father used to tell me, man, don't never pick it up, never do it, blah, 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 it's a gateway drug. Well, what is a gateway drug to? Well, other things. Well, what are other things? Like you say, you open up a door, now you got 1,000 questions. So, being a kid, gave me an inch, I took a mile. So, for anybody watching this, if you smoke weed lowers your vibrations, your frequency. So if you're wanting to attract higher people, or wondering why you're attracting lower vibration people that either don't have a lot of money, a lot of success, discipline, or lack certain qualities of life, it's because that's the frequency you're vibrating on as well. So when he told me, oh, this is a gateway drug, it made me look at other things. Remember I told you from earlier with my mother. So if it was a gateway, what did it lead to? Then I looked at other people and how other people's lives are going, and they would vibrate so low, they would look for other ways to come back up. So what was it? Other drugs. So then you mix in lowers and uppers, trying to level back out, balance, keep a balance. So rich people, if you're rich on here, probably do coke, you probably do meth, probably do Adderall, probably do something. Reality is 80% of the people have either experienced it, done it. I feel like something has been there. You either knew somebody or something. My whole thing is, don't do it. Throw your frequency off. You could be vibrating low on your own. You don't need help.
You could be vibrating low on your own. You listen a lot of Bob Proctor, don't you?
Bob Proctor.
You don't know who he is? Man, who you listen to that speak about frequency?
Ooh, I don't really listen to anybody specifically. I just, from a lot of the books, a lot of the experiences I've been through, I'm not really a religious person. I'm more spiritual. So that's just kind of how I don't know what got me to that point, but the books, the people, being around, like, even, I'm not sure if it was Dr. Zebi or who it was, because I don't even know if he spoke on frequencies, but he definitely was more so of, the earth, the world itself. It has everything here for you. It was here before you came, and it's gonna be here after you leave. So something told me one day, I was watching something about success, is humans think they are so smart. You created bills, you created antidotes, you created everything here you created, but it was already things here for you for what you think you created. So what is it, for every sickness there's a plant that can cure it, but we got to go to the store and go buy medicine that has some kind of other after effect to it. Then you got to buy more medicine, then you got to buy this. So it's a non-ending. The medical field, I love to get into it. I would love to sit down and argue with somebody that has been in medical for 20, 30 years and think they're doing an absolutely amazing job. Cool, you're programmed to think that because you were taught what they taught you. not what things actually are. Think about it. Dr. Sebi cured cancer. No medicine, herbs, blah, 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 all this on his belief. Why we ain't found a cure for cancer and we got a cure for COVID?
That's the question. That is a great question. I don't know. You feel me?
Hey,
Listen, that's a great question. That is a phenomenal question. But it shows how deep you go to learn what's not being presented, what's not being said. Because oftentimes we just hear what's said. What time is it?
Oh no, you're fine. It's 3:08. I was looking at a email.
Okay. I was about to say, cause I know at 4, right?
Yeah, it is. That's fine.
After this one, it's like maybe 15, 20 more minutes. But that's what I've learned, right? You have to pay attention to what's not being said. We hear what's being said and take that and run with that, which you absolutely should. But you got to really dive deep with it. You have to really understand, okay, who am I speaking with? What have they been through? What are they experiencing? What are they going through? I can't help everything, but we can have a conversation. I can meet you where you at to make you feel like you're seen. You feel me? Why am I doing that? Because oftentimes when you've seen, we begin to learn more what's not being spoken about. But oftentimes we don't understand that there's steps and levels to this. You have to be patient with yourself because you recognize who you were, so you had to change. What did this change teach you about yourself?
How bad I wanted it. Most definitely. It made me open my eyes and realize you really don't want these things as bad as you say you do. Or you don't want this, or you don't want that, or blah, blah. It made me come to a self-realization that at the time I was more taught than what I was actually doing. So, and that's at the time where I had the most. So, that's what changed it.
So you had the most, but you didn't have peace with the most.
Oh, bro, you sound like my grandma now.
Ooh.
I was never happy. I would pull up to the family reunion in a new exotic car. Everybody in the family, oh, you the rich kid up there, you this, you that, blah, blah, blah. Same people that I used to call and, hey, can I borrow your clothes? Can I do this to go to school? Like, these are the same people. So I wasn't up there with them. Nobody. I was there by myself. I did not feel as if I could even call anybody to get advice. Cause how could you tell me something if you ain't been 20 making $200,000? How can I call and ask you for advice on whether I should do this move or trust this or go with this business partner? Because
you haven't experienced it. You're not even in it.
You see what I'm saying? So how could I even trust what you about to tell me? Whether it be from my daddy, whether it be from my uncle. Now my uncle is multi-millionaire, but he I don't know how to say this, but he's so closed off now. Cause my whole family, their whole life, they need something who they call
him.
I can't blame him for being closed off. I would be too. I mean, yeah, like, don't bug me, call me when you need something.
You ain't calling saying hey or nothing.
Nobody showed up to his surprise birthday party, nothing. Just, it's so much stuff. My family, like I say, it's going back to the culture, the roots, and even sometimes the religion of people. Just like it's embedded in you. And us as African Americans, we got poor. A large majority of us have poor everyday habits or things that we're taught when we're young. That nothing that is good for us. And we think it's just okay. Oh, it's because I'm black. It's how we are.
What does that even mean,
bro? Oh well, I don't get it. It's just how society put it.
Yeah,
and it ain't. I was one of the ones that used to fall for it, but I see beyond it now. I see my people ain't gonna help me. My people would rather compete with me than to help me.
Didn't work. Why are we competing? Why are we? But it's really understanding that you keep speaking about frequency. You have to really understand everybody don't have the same frequency that you have, which is, you know, understandable. However, the ones that does have your frequency, that's when it's like, oh, I've been looking for you for a long time. You feel me? I've been looking
for somebody like you for a minute.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh God.
We wasn't prepared to see this person, to be around this person. We was going through the phase. We was going through the beginning process. Why? Because when we see and feel something, we want to hold attached to it. But oftentimes it's premature. It's premature. You haven't matured enough in order to accept this. Like when we met, I hear you giving game, so I'm like, boom, boom, boom. You feel me? Like we giving game to each other,
going back and forth.
You feel me? It wasn't a competition. It was like, okay, you know this, okay, I know this. How can we? You feel me? Take the information,
this and make it make sense,
bro. We won't even compete.
Nah, never that. You don't got to,
bro.
Yeah.
The information I give you ain't gonna hurt me. I heard this on a video and a podcast or something that was like, what's for me is for me. Me giving you this information, this game, it's not gonna hurt my pockets. I said, oh, you ain't lying. But I always give game. I always give game. What I've learned is that, you know how we can do things for free? We do things for free because we leave ourselves out. Why not include yourself on the free, on the back end? That's where the business come in there. That's where the understanding, like, I'm doing this for free. Okay, that's no problem. I'm doing this for free because I want some testimonials. I'm doing this for free because of da-da-da-da-da. There's always a reason, but we just forget to include ourselves. How you gonna be a blessing to others, but you ain't even a blessing to yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's deep right there. Because while I was lost, I was the main person going around trying to tell somebody, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be. Yeah, I had it physically, but like I said, time will tell. Time ain't gonna lie to nobody.
Nope. Numbers don't lie. People do.
Not gonna do. Man. Oh yeah, Jacob this, Jacob that, Jacob this. Oh no, hold on now.
Hold on now. Where did you get that from?
Man.
Yeah.
Numbers don't. And man, hell, you gonna have haters regardless. You really broke, you up, it don't matter. You're gonna have somebody that's not gonna agree with what you're doing. It's not their purpose or their journey. It's not for even you to understand. It's just for you to deal with.
You to recognize, like, oh, appreciate it.
Yeah.
You feel me? You can't really. We try to change things that's out of our control, and that's hard, bro. That's hard. You gotta identify a role and play it. You feel me?
Whether it be multiples, because when you're like starting out like me and him, you the interviewer, you the behind the scenes, you the setting up, you the whole thing. So it's when you playing so many different roles, it's, to be 100% honest, it's hard not to get caught up in one of them, because one of them roles you like playing a little bit more than the other. And depending on, like I say, your comfortability or your discipline, it's hard to get. It's easy, to get caught up doing the wrong damn thing.
It is, man, and like you mentioned, you have to. Starting off, you have to do everything. Oh, that was the mic.
Oh, when we was talking
hope
before. Yeah, it was. I had cut it off when I went to the bathroom.
No, the one on top of this camera, the one on the left. If it's not, I can just.
If it ain't, bro,
I'll play with it.
I mean,
this was good. This was good. I ain't gonna lie.
We could do a different one. I mean, bro, I'm not tripping. I mean, it's just more. It's
content.
You just asking me like, hey, so it's kind of getting me more comfortable with telling about me. So I mean, it's cool. That'd be a good deal for me.
That's a bit. Man, I do appreciate you for sharing your space with me, bro. And really sharing your story, because it's something that's difficult that a lot of people don't mention why it's difficult. Because you have to relive the emotions that was going through the process, going through the phase, and really become the person you are today. Mm-hmm. So before we close, because we're going to close in a couple minutes, I asked this question earlier, but so I'm going to ask it again. The reason why I'm asking again, because of your awareness that you have developed within yourself. Are you proud of the man that you are today?
Nah, man, I ain't. I'm not happy yet. Not yet.
Not yet. I like that. And the reason why I asked it twice, because you really thought about it. You feel me? Like the first time you thought about it as well, but this next time you really felt like, am I proud? Nah, not yet. You done been through a lot. Do you give yourself grace?
Most definitely. I would say if I was more consistent and disciplined, then I would have what I need. I'm working on two things. After I work on those two, I feel like everything else will fall in order on how it's supposed to.
That's deep. That's deep, man. And so I got one segment that's called Best for Last. So this segment, I ask 4 questions, and it's like a speed round. So I ask 4 questions with a quick explanation.
Okay.
So first one, what are you grateful for?
God.
What do you regret?
Losing peace.
That's, we letting that one marinate. We letting that one marinate. We letting that one marinate. What do you? How do you keep your composure?
Walk away. Walk away. Cause if I stay, I don't.
Cause it's building up, then that's when you. Okay.
Every time.
Okay. And then last question. I'd
rather walk away.
Rather walk away. Yup. It's not even worth it. Last question. What does failure's knowledge mean to you?
It's supposed to be speed.
This could be a little bit long.
Oh.
This could be a little longer.
Oh, you good. Failure is knowledge. Because without failure, there's no success. And without having a bad day, you never truly know how to have a good one. So I would compare it to that.
It's like a yin and yang effect.
If you don't have a bad day, how the heck could you enjoy a good one? How could you? If yesterday was the same exact 5-star hotel you stayed in, the same view you looked at, you woke up to that every single day, how could you appreciate the same thing you seen every day? If you ain't went down to the hood and seen kids sleeping in, God knows, holes in the floor, one pair of shoes, you see what I'm saying, messed up, don't barely fit, but that's what they got. They just got to rock it out. I mean, if you don't come from that, then how could you appreciate having this view, doing what you want to do when you want to do it?
Jacob, bro, I'm proud of the man you are today.
Appreciate you,
Just
brother.
because you're not, I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it.
I feel your energy. You feel me? I feel the growth. What was bro name that was with you?
Dre. Yeah, Draylon B.
No, not Dre.
Adrian.
Adrian. When I was talking to him, you can just tell he's learning. He's afraid to mess up. He's afraid to be uncomfortable. That's absolutely okay. But you are doing something that's going to help him build this confidence, build trust, and actually see himself in a different light. So I applaud you for that. I applaud you for that, man. How can people find you? How can they work with you? How can they connect with you?
Most definitely. Again, I'm officially Jay's Way on Instagram. And if you want to reach out through my business and consulting / credit repair, same thing. You can hit me at Mainstream Enterprises. We will be offering new products and services. Eventually we'll be branching off into taxes as well as a notary. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free. And it's nice to meet you virtually.
Hey, there you have it. Listen, make sure you go follow them. Make sure you go tap in with them. Show them some love. Show them some love. If this conversation has been helpful, leave in the comments on how it really helped you. We appreciate y'all. Jay, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.